Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to brand new TT Pod. I'm your host, Ben, and today we have a very, very, very exciting, happy, tremendous, whatever adjective you want to throw in front of their show. My voice is gone because of how much I've been screaming running around my living room. But Liverpool have beaten Nottingham Forest 1-0. Thank you to Darwin Núñez once again saving the day. And me and Mike and the comments are going to be here to discuss all things in that game. Of course, Darwin Núñez's goal at the end, but there's a lot to get through within this little podcast. So, before we get into it, please make sure you do check out our podcast sponsor, yourfootcard.com. Amazing company, amazing guys, amazing people. They've done really, really well with us. We've got our own discount code as well, TAT Pod, which can save you 15% off your order at checkout. As you can see, if your little ones or even yourself really are into Ultimate Team, they are the best gifts you can get. Amazing quality and amazing prices. So please do check them out. Mike, how are you, bro?
Same as you, mate. I think I lost my voice for a good couple of minutes after that final whistle. Stunned, absolutely stunned. I don't know about you, but when we got to the 98th minute, I was starting to make peace with the fact that I didn't think we would get 3 points in the end. And I can be quite positive during a game, but yeah, just stunned is the only word I can think of. I don't know about you. I mean, what was your reaction? Talk to me about the final whistle. What were you like? Final whistle goes. What's happening for you?
Just overjoyed, mate, to be honest, because I don't think if we drew today would have meant out of it or anything. There's still so many twists and turns that can happen, but I think it would have significantly harmed our chances because I think obviously City's the next game, you beat them now, we go 4 ahead. If it was a draw today, if we beat them, it would have only been 1 ahead. So this changes a lot for me. This just shows that, it doesn't change a lot actually, because I knew this team anyway from games like this all season long. It's happened the same way. Liverpool need a goal, we score the goal, we get the win. How many times, Mike, have we been hearing people lose their minds at halftime, people melting down, and maybe sometimes rightfully so, but you've just always got to have it in the back of your mind that you should never, ever, ever write this team off. And I was like you, Mike. I thought today could be the day where maybe it's just one step too far. Maybe it's just getting away a little bit in terms of the players we got on the pitch, the physique of the players and the fitness that they had and all of those kind of things. But no, absolutely not. You should never even question those guys on that pitch. And they're showing us again today that they can just get the job done regardless. Do you want to say something before I get into some comments, mate?
Well, yeah, just going off the back of that, I think I actually tweeted out in the 98th minute, which I very quickly deleted, that this might have been one game too far, because I think this would have been our fourth. I mean, it was our fourth game in 11 days. The fitness issues that we've had with the squad obviously are very well documented. People listening in are very aware of that already. But just with the squad that we had, I thought potentially maybe this was just that one game too far, and I'd have held nothing against them for it. It would have been, I think, as a fan base, after everything settled down, we would have probably been quite understanding, just going, yeah, we've been, shafted by injuries, a lot of games, a lot of minutes played in the last, 11 days. It's not a good result. We move on. But to get the winner in the last minute, it just, how I was at the start of the year. I was pretty tentative to say whether this was going to be a special season or not. But yeah, I'm all aboard the train now, man. Like I'm in the deep end with it now. Just to the point where you just feel like this is it feels like a script has been written for us in a really wonderful way, and we just, every time a door comes up, we just seem to find a way to knock it down.
Yeah, exactly. And this is not for any new listeners or viewers, I have been trying to get this out of Mike for a long time, up until I think it was when we played City and Arsenal, was that sort of period where we had those two tough games. I was like, Mike, we're in a title race, we're looking really good, and Mike was like, no, I won't say anything until after those games. And it looks like after what Mike's seen from the kids and Mike's seen this team do from game to game with all the injuries we've got, he's fully invested now. Let's get into some comments before we do get into the game. Sonny says, yo, what's up, mate? Up the Reds, of course. It's weird on my own. Well, you're not on your own, mate. You're with us. So you're all good. New. Don't know what that means. But
all right, go on.
What's up? I hope you're good. Dan says, wow. I think that's all you can say, really. Wow. At this team, when you get results like that, when it wasn't a great performance. In fact, it wasn't a terrible performance, but I just think it was just very lethargic. And you still win the game. That's all you can say. Question mark says, you'll never walk alone. Where's exclamation mark, mate? See if he wants to come in the chat. Dan says not all heroes wear capes, yeah, and Darwin Núñez is certainly a hero. 10 says McAllister needs to be studied. Mike,
Yes, he does.
to you, my friend. Dan says Núñez is special. Jerry says up the Reds. FPL Lucho says Núñez greeting. Dan says I won the giveaway from them. Oh, you absolutely did. Class. Tan says Mac is special, and George Shamakov says Darwin. Thank you to everyone leaving comments. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you like the stream. If you're watching on Twitter, give it a little retweet or a little like. Helps the algorithm out a little bit, pushes the pod to more people. Mike, let's get into this game then. Let's talk about it. You see this lineup again. I think I always ask this question: is that the best we could have gone with? And also, just going past the lineup as well, we see the likes of Darwin Núñez, Endo, Szoboszlai back on the bench. That was nothing but a boost for this team, wasn't it?
Absolutely huge boost. I think when the lineup came out, I could even gauge it from the reaction of the fan base just on social media anyway. I think we were all excited to see Clark. We were all tentative with Gomez being in the six, but I think we were all understanding of the fact that Endo gave both of his hamstrings on Sunday, and he was not going to be able to do 90 minutes today. But just seeing Núñez and Szoboszlai back on the bench obviously was a huge boost as well, and they both came on and made an impact in the game. One particularly, obviously, and comments will be made about Gakpo, but we can touch on that briefly if you want. But I think that is the best 11 we could have put out, and just a shout out to specifically Kelleher, Elliott, and Diaz, because those lads have ran more minutes in this last week than anyone else. It feels like Joe Gomez as well. Just incredible fitness levels to even be able to compete today in the way they did.
Absolutely. Shai says we're going to win the league. Inshallah, you'll never walk alone. One Sav says you'll never walk alone.
Big up, Sav. Big up, Sav.
Keep the comments coming, guys. Get involved in the conversation. Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. Would I want Joe Gomez in the six in the future? No, absolutely not. I never want to see it happen again, to be quite honest. But with what we have and what we had available, obviously Endo not been given the green light to start, which is fair enough. He's just come back. Didn't really have much other options, to be honest. And yeah, I just thought the team in the first half, I think I said it at half time, like, I don't think it's a terrible performance. It's just the chance creation and like the amount of chances that we're getting and the quality of the chances that's lacking. And again, in the second half, we had the one where obviously the one that came off their keeper, there's the defender, sorry, and the keeper makes a great save. And then they had the goal. But apart from that, didn't really test the keeper too much. But somebody that did change the game, Mike, we don't know if it was offside or not. The liner didn't put his flag up, but let's base it on not being offside because, Kelleher wasn't to know that. Queven Kelleher, he's in for Allister. Obviously, we hear yesterday that Allison's got a long-term injury and he is probably going to miss most of the season now, which is it is a blow. I don't care how good Kelleher's been.
Of course, it's a huge blow.
But Kelleher, he's not, doing his chances any harm at the minute, is he?
No, not at all. Listen, big up Sav for the comment, and he's completely right. It was a game-saving stop, and he's produced a few of them. He produced some outstanding work in the final. He did incredibly well, especially when we were under the cosh a little bit at the start against Southampton. He did brilliantly against Luton. He is just continuing to develop, and I think run of form serves any player well. Run of games rather serves any player well, but Kelleher specifically, I think, even if you loved him, you're still surprised by just how good he's been. The biggest test of his season's coming up against City, of course. So the defense is just as important when it comes to that game as well. But yeah, just consistently fantastic. The confidence for a defense starts with the keeper, and he's done brilliantly to emanate composure around Konate and Van Dijk today. Very commanding of his box, and it's exactly what you'd want. Yes, Sam, big up, bro. Exactly the feeling I have. We can't read it out loud because we're sponsored, but yes, bro. What were your thoughts on Kelleher, then? Come on.
Very good, very confident. I think he, that was the thing that I looked at him. I thought he's great with his feet. He's a great shot stopper, but in like these big, tough away games, especially, what's his confidence like, especially when it's crunch time? And every single game is vital for us. Ali, you never doubt his confidence and his ability to step up in a big game. With Kelleher, of course, he's had the experience in the finals, but apart from that, he's obviously had the run, I think, in other seasons gone by where Ali's obviously been injured as well. But the thing for Kelleher that I would say is it was all about game time and rhythm and momentum and such important things for a football player, and especially if you're a goalkeeper and you're not playing for 95% of the season, you are going to make mistakes. And I was just thinking, like, you know what? I've not given Kelleher, this season gone by in some games. In fact, I have given Kelleher quite a bit of criticism in, like Europa League games where he's made like what I'd say is a mistake. But I'm looking back now and thinking I can't blame him, because if you're just coming in for the odd game as a goalkeeper, you're not going to have that chance to just keep the rhythm and momentum. Now he's got that, and you are seeing a huge difference in Queven Kelleher. He is looking like a number one keeper. He's not playing like a backup goalkeeper at the minute. You look at other teams like, say, Man City, if they're without Ederson, the drop off to Ortega is immense. And I know, look, I'm not saying the drop off from Allister to Kelleher isn't, but what I am saying is,
Of course.
I think it's less of a transition for us. When Kelleher has to step in. If you didn't know Liverpool, if you didn't watch Liverpool week in, week out, like if I said to me, Gran, what's a Liverpool match with me? She wouldn't say, "Oh, that's not your normal goalkeeper." She wouldn't have no. You know what I mean? If you don't know, you wouldn't know that Kelleher isn't our one goalkeeper at the minute. And ever since the final today, all these games where he's come in, he's done absolutely fantastic. And obviously, I think Nottingham Forest themselves actually wanted him in the summer, and we had to fend off the interest for him. And you can see why, because finding another goalkeeper to sit behind the best in the world to that level and that ability, you're not going to find that on the market. And yeah, in hindsight, it's a wonderful thing. I'm absolutely buzzing that we managed to keep hold of him in the summer, Mike, because could you imagine using like a kid, or dare I say Adrian, in these moments?
Yeah.
I don't think we'd have the same confidence we have now, would we?
No, not at all. Like, obviously, everyone's getting their comments in regarding Kelleher now, but he's a special lad. He's a special lad for us at the moment. Speaking of players, playing well and getting the opportunity, I'd like to segue it to a player that's potentially not playing too well, but I think we just got to give 1 minute to it, just a little commentary on it, see what your thoughts are regarding Gakpo. Exactly as Isaac's put here, Gakpo isn't a striker. I love him and think he's a boss footballer, but shouldn't be played up top. I can see where you're coming from, Isaac. I share the sentiment. I think he's great when he's linking up play. He can hold the ball up really well. But, yeah, exactly. He just needs to step his game up. I think he plays better when he's got people to bounce off in the forward line, when he's not the main man. At least at the moment, I've not seen anything that tells me he's comfortable being the main guy in the front three. So, disappointed with his performance today. I thought he was selfish in moments. I thought he was lackluster in others. But his work rate was still very good, and you can tell he's trying. It's not for a lack of effort. So, by no means give up on him. For those listening that aren't happy with Gakpo today, I'd say by no means give up on him. But he's currently down the pecking order. When Nunes, Salah, Jota, Diaz are firing the way they are, as they were before some got injured, Gakpo's got to look around and see that his position is certainly under threat when people come back fit. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're spot on. I think it's obvious he needs to up his game a bit, and he needs to sort himself out. And I think, like you said, the decision-making side of it today, I think there was that one moment, wasn't there, where I think Nunes laid it off to him, and Elliott and Nunes made a run, and instead of trying to find one of them, he goes for a goal, and he was never going to score from there. But yeah, I think Gakpo, I think he's a great player to have around. He's versatile. He can play. People won't like to admit it. He can play through in the middle if needed. He can play down the left. He's even played in midfield for us this season. But yeah, he does need to up his game. He does need to improve. Is he going to be, like you say, for one of the first attackers on the team sheet when everyone's fit? No, he's not. Do we need him now? Yes, we do, because we don't have Jota, we don't have Salah. I'm pretty confident when Salah's back next week for Man City, touch wood, it will be Nunes, Diaz, Salah, and then Gakpo will be back on the bench. So I agree with what you're saying as well. He works hard, he tries hard. It's just the end product sometimes. The decision making is not there. But I did a tweet before the game because I saw a segment from Sky where he was talking about rejecting Man United for Liverpool. I was like, people have short memories because everyone's calling him crap. We don't win the Carabao Cup without Gakpo's goals. He scored the most goals in the Carabao Cup, which I've always said I'll never look down on the Carabao Cup. Even when we weren't winning trophies, I've kept my same energy in the League Cup. Yeah, I might have changed it slightly when United won it last season, but who cares? But it's an important trophy. Like when you want to win trophies, when you want to get into that momentum of a title charge, winning that does absolutely no harm. And in fact, it only boosts your chances and confidence. So Gakpo winning that, incredible. Yes, he needs to sort himself out. He needs to get the consistency back. And I'm sure he will. He's a Liverpool player. He's got potential. He's got the talent. He just needs to get it down on on the pitch. And you've just thrown me off there a minute, but yeah, the Maka card is a custom card. That's you can get custom cards on the site as well. Obviously you've got the Salah gold card there, and you've got a Virgil van Dijk Team of the Year card. The McAllister one is a custom card. I believe we did a giveaway with that card right at the start when we joined up with Your Foot card, and it was sort of like a celebration card for Maka signing for us. So yeah, it's not actually on FIFA, but you can, or you could have ordered the card. I don't know if it's still there now.
Yeah,
but
also big up to you, bro, because you got the sharpest jawline I've ever seen. My God, his pictures.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Bro's been mewing. Listen, moving on with away from Gakpo, away from the negativity. The game, we know how the first half went. It wasn't entertaining. It wasn't highlight worthy. A couple of good saves from Kelleher. A couple of moments where we felt like we could have done more. I thought McAllister created a few really good moments with his balls in behind.
Brilliant.
Diaz and Gakpo, really good movement, but we couldn't finish it off. Second half, specifically what I want to ask you about, Ben, is second half when the subs come on initially. Exactly. We're getting onto that very shortly, mate, so stick around and leave a like. But initially when those subs come on, there was a 5 to 10 minute period where we couldn't really get our foot on the ball. Forest began to develop a little bit of pressure, getting into good positions. Elanga had a wonderful chance, which he put just wide.
Scored.
Yeah, he should have scored. At that moment, what were your thoughts in that moment? Like, were you feeling the nerves at this point? Did you think this could be it?
I think that's when I did start to think this one might be a step too far, because the pace they had on their attack and the counter, and obviously we're pushing everyone forward to get the goal. They're in, and like I say, Elanga, it was relief when he dragged that wide. It's because how crap he is. Obviously, he's at United. He was crap there as well. The kid don't know the offside rule. I remember last season we played against Forest. He was offside every time he touched the ball. And then obviously he gets a moment today where they should have won the game. And again, it was just relief, mate, that we'd got away with that chance. I think leading up to that, though, I know you said it was like a 5-10 minute spell. I thought we actually did okay. I thought Virgil van Dijk, not many people have spoken about him. I thought he was absolutely faultless today. And if it wasn't for Alexis McAllister, my man of the match is Virgil van Dijk, because he was tremendous. There was that moment in the first half where they put a ball in and he just casually heads it back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And it's these games, it's these moments where you need your captain to step up and lead by example. And once again, Virgil van Dijk absolutely faultless today. But yeah, in that little spell, I thought, you know what, if we just ride this out, get some subs on the pitch, and just get that goal, really, which we all felt would come at some point, and it did. But just before we do get onto that, Mike, I just want to ask your thoughts on the midfield. Obviously, I know you're going to talk on McAllister, because that's what you love to do. You do it every single time we go live. I'm rightfully so, by the way.
I'm about to say, rightfully so. I think I've got every right to. And you know what, Ben?
I do have this as well, to be fair. So,
listen, you were right there with me. You were right there with me when we signed McAllister, and we were both saying the same thing. His performance today, there were moments where listen, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It was
a bit sloppy at some points,
without a doubt. I think he looked a little bit lethargic for a good 5-10 minute period. There was moments where Nunes bolted in behind and he tried to play it short. It was decision making was off. I think that went for the whole team. But in terms of dictating tempo, retaining possession, threading the ball between the lines, again, he stood out. He just, to get him for 35 mil, and that's a great comment by the jawline fella right there, saying, I'm going to call him that. Maka is a steal, really. Caicedo, 35 mil, Maka, 120. I couldn't agree more. I think you're seeing for me, you're seeing just the start of what Maka can do at Liverpool. I think he'll be here for a very long time, and I think he'll be very instrumental in all our success while he's here. His fitness levels are fantastic. I know he had a bit of an injury at one point which kept him out, but you rarely see him just disappear for a niggle for a couple of games. He's always present in there. He sets the tone, he sets the tempo, and he resembles what it means to be a Liverpool player in a lot of ways. It's the 98th minute. He cuts it back wonderfully, by the way, using his right foot to set his left foot up to then send the ball into the box. I don't believe he's seen Nunes. I think he has just seen a bunch of purple.
Yeah, he's just got to get it in the right area.
Yeah, but it's still a phenomenal delivery. And, obviously we know how well Nunes did. But that was a standard McAllister performance. He stepped up against, I think it was Luton with the corners. And, he got 2 assists against Luton. He has another assist here. This is, a statement performance again. or statement moment again from McAllister. And I think when we get to the end of the season, the highlight reel of that man is going to be up there with the very best, because he's just so graceful on the ball, absolutely top drawer. And I think everyone's in the leagues looking around and asking their scouting department, why did Liverpool ever free run at him?
Well, I'll give my opinion on that as well. But just before that, Ethan says order me a Macca purple kit after the game. Well, hold that thought, because whilst you're at it, you can also order this beautiful McAllister illustration from yourfootcard.com. And if you use TAT pod at checkout, you get 15% off. I don't have the McAllister one, but I do have the Egyptian King one. It is unbelievable quality on the back.
That's brilliant.
Like metallic. You can go on your wall. I don't know why it's not on my wall yet. It is going to go on that back wall at some point, but I don't have the attachments to put it on. But yeah, really, really good quality. £25 on the site. If you use TAT pod, you do get 15% off. Mike, what's 15% off 25? 10%?
It's so much. It's so much that I can't even do the math. That's how much it is. So Ethan, when you go buy that kit, which you have done, go get that as well, mate. This is a sales pitch.
Is it like £2.50 or something?
Honestly, mate, I've got an English degree, not a maths. I'm not going to be able to help you. It's a lot. But listen, yeah, McAllister obviously was outstanding. Stephen, you've made a great comment there regarding Van Dijk and Konate setting new standards for defensive work. I couldn't agree more. I think just the way we've all come together as fans, there you go. Well done, Ethan. But I think the way the fans have reacted to this game, it's a relief. You can feel the relief within the fan base, because we all know that in regards of how thin the squad is. I mean, we had Clark, Jadon Dans, Bradley, Kelleher all on the pitch today. That we were leaning on the youth throughout this game again. And I know rival fans will cry about us talking about it now, because I know they're fed up with it, but I don't care. To utilize the squad the way we have done over the last couple of weeks, and to get the results that we have is very much unheard of, and it's something that is a credit to everyone involved, from the coaching staff at every level, and to Klopp for trusting the players, and also for the senior players around to not be shy from giving the ball to them. And yeah, Joe Lyons pulled out the bag there again with Endo. I mean, what did you think of Endo's performance?
Yeah, Endo, I said to my brother, it's like our little dog. Like, you just wind him up and you're like, go on, Endo, go get him. And it's like, he just goes and runs on the pitch and just smashing everyone. There was one moment where he gave the ball away. I was like, oh, Endo, come on, you're better than that. Second minute, he just smashed the player and won the ball back, and we're on the attack again. And it's just like the amount of nonsense that was going around. And I'm not going to lie, I hold my hands up. We were doing a stream when that came breaking news. Fabrizio Romano, exclusive, Liverpool looking to sign. And I remember my reaction. It was not good. I never wrote him off. I remember at the end of the stream, we all said, look, we don't know about Endo. We don't know who he is. We don't know how good he is. But Klopp likes him. The club like him. There must be something there. Let's at least give him the chance. Let's at least give him some time. And that was the best thing we ever did, give him the time. Because even the first couple of months, people were still saying the nonsense. He's Arthur Mello 2.0. Certain content creator did this whole piece saying, Konnichiwa. And it's like, where are you now? You're not on Twitter.
There's a lot. Listen, there's a lot of people like that.
I can't wait for the day he comes back on Twitter so I can at him and say, "Oh, what are you saying about Endo now?" But yeah, just go back to McAllister as well, just briefly. You said, I think you made a point. Why did we get a 3-1 at him? I think he just wanted this club. I think he just had a brain, and I've said this before. Out of all the players that went to Chelsea, Caicedo, he wants the project. Nonsense. He wants a bigger wallet. Same with Romeo Lavia. Don't give a damn. You lot deserve what you get. You signed for that club for the paycheck. You deserve to be 10th place, celebrating wins. Did they win today? I can't even remember.
I think they drew today. The Lavia one, in fairness, I'll always have empathy for, because I think we made him feel like second choice. But that is what it is.
Yeah,
we're not
fair enough. Maybe.
Yeah. We'll move on from that.
Yeah, Macca, I think I said it on a space just before we came on here, mate. If he was at any other club, if he was at Man City, if he was at Barcelona, I'd be saying he's world class. So right now, I've gone past the stage where Macca's a great player, Macca's top class. For 35 million, the price you pay for Macca, he is world class for what he's doing right now. I don't care.
Well, listen, the position we're in now. Position we're in now. We'll talk about the final part of the game here, and then let's look forward, and then we'll wrap this up. And everyone that's watching right now, make sure you're retweeting, you're liking, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel where there is content there, and there'll be always more content. So make sure you're transferring over. I want to see you guys over there too. But yeah, see, that's how you got to do this thing when you're building a platform.
Mate, there you go.
But yeah, listen, coming up to that moment, 90th minute, 8 minutes added on. A friend of mine that texted me during the game goes, I don't know where we've got 8 minutes from.
I know who it was. Sent it in the space. I was texting Mike.
Yeah, she texted me saying, "Listen, I don't, you got 8 minutes. You should have been more." Da, 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 da. That person completely gave up, by the way, so I don't want to hear them talking about anything, and I'll be reminding them of that. But yeah, listen, you get to that moment, and I think we didn't really have any sustained pressure in the second half. I think that was something that we really struggled to do, but we seemed to finally get it right at the end. Canate goes down at one end, head injury. Ref rightfully blew the whistle. I know the Wolves, the not Forest fans weren't happy with that. It's protocol. You've got to do it with head injury. We get up, we move the ball forward, we win the corner. Corner delivery isn't ideal. It comes out to Tsimikas. He composes himself as a shot, comes out McAllister onto his left, whips it in. Nunes scores a minute past the final whistle. I mean, you can't write scripts like this, can you?
No, you can't, Mike. But I've seen Forest fans. I know some Forest fans because that I am from. That is the city I'm from, and they're in group chats now crying. Cry me a bloody river. You literally wasted so much time. Like he's obviously going to add it on. That's what they have to do. There's going to be 8 minutes added on. If you waste 4 of it, you get them, or you're supposed to get. Not every referee does it, to be fair, but you're supposed to get those 4 minutes back. And that was absolutely fair today. I don't see why there's this thing about Taylor or whatever, and we're all first to call refs out. And I know, I think
the math works. Like all the subs we used.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like you do the maths, all the subs we used, they went down with they keep went down with the head injury after Dan's was far too enthusiastic. That alone there was
no, that was brilliant. I'm all for that.
Yeah, listen,
all for that.
I'm all for it as long as someone doesn't get concussed. And it was a little bit too aggressive, but he got the yellow card and you move forward. But you got the 8 minutes there. But within that 8 minutes, 2 Forest players go down and we're down for a while. Then Canate was down. That's where the extra time came from. And it's not like it was a ludicrous amount of time. It was the correct minute. And then we scored. So then an extra minute was added because of the celebration of it. So, and yeah, listen, Jawline's correct. It's the kind of script wrote for Premier League champions, but we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here, do we? Or do we? Do we want to just run with it at this point?
We want to get ahead of ourselves. Why not? We've got Klopp for what, 2 or 3 months now. Let's get ahead of ourselves, Mike. Let's get excited. Someone mentioned it just then about a parade. Let's do it. Even if there's no more trophies to come, I don't care. We will be there. But anyway, this is a bit of showing off. Obviously, it was obvious. I think anybody could see this, to be fair. So
I think we all wrote this. Bro, I put a bet
1 hour ago. Darwin on P's, and then my very next tweet, Darwin F and Nunes. But we'll just finish on this. I think that it's obvious what Darwin can do. We've seen it before. Newcastle is the obvious one, but there's been games where, okay, fine, it's not worked, it's not clicked, but we are a far better team with Darwin Nunes on the pitch. 100%. We just are. He had a couple more chances today, but I just feel like we have that threat. There's always that goal threat when he's there. And Mike, that is a proper number 9's goal, isn't it? There's obviously when we move from Bobby Firmino to a more like traditional. I know he's not necessarily a traditional number 9, but he's more so than Firmino. But that was a proper number 9's goal. That is what you want to see your number 9 do. And ultimately, mate, when your number 9 scores those kind of goals, I don't care how much you paid for him.
Yeah, I don't care. And people change the number. They say 85. We didn't pay 85 for him. That is what it is. But listen, the header he scores is not an easy header at all. Like, it's not an easy header to get the power he generates on, because the ball's floated in at head height. Darwin generates all the power. The direction is fantastic. And it's not an easy finish. And you can just obviously you see the passion in the winner. But I really do believe he's getting better and better as the season goes on in terms of his all-round performance. There is a consistent improvement. But there you go. Just like Ian Starr has said here, great comment, mate. You know, he's underestimated in a lot of ways. You know, most assists, 14 goals. It's a good turnaround. You know, he's 20. I think it's now 24 goal contributions. Maybe 20. Someone correct me. How many goal contributions? Sorry, he's got this season, but I believe it's 24 or 25. So yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic. There's a lad in the comments called Harrison. Shout out to you, mate. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, it's absolutely outstanding. So just going forward, if he continues the trajectory he's on, he becomes our star man in the front line for the next few seasons, which is what I think he was brought in to do. So you end up getting you get the value for money that you were looking for. And if he keeps popping up with winners like that, you can't complain.
No. And the winner, just closing on this, Mike, we'll just talk about the league and where we are right now and what we think can happen going forward. It obviously keeps our 4-point cushion of Man City. Obviously, they've got to play United. And look, would be foolish to expect United to do anything, but stranger things have happened in football. At least all we can do right now is do our job. And since the Arsenal defeat, as you can see, the red cross, that is the Arsenal game. Ever since that, it's win, 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 win. No matter if it's a rookie like Jadon Dan's on the pitch, if it's somebody's experiences with Taro Endo on the pitch. At the minute, this team is finding a way to win football matches. And ultimately, at the end of the season, when the ribbons are put on the Premier League trophy, that is all that's going to matter, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, nail on the head right there. You look at the next couple of games, Arsenal have got Sheffield United on Monday. Fully expect them to turn them over. That could be 3-5-0, 3-5-0, and then City v United tomorrow. As much as we'd all love United to do something and react after their result against Fulham, I've watched United enough over the last few years where I don't get my hopes up, as I'm sure no United fan does. So, I've got a few friends of mine that are United fans. They aren't looking forward to this game. They all think they'll be turned over. So, yeah, it's on us. We've got Europa League on Thursday. I expect and anticipate a fully rotated side. Kelleher probably start. I think Kelleher starts. One of Van Dijk and Konate has to start. Probably see Gomez and Tsimikas as your fullbacks just to rotate for Sunday, because we need a very, very fresh squad on Sunday, and we need the fans to turn up at Anfield, which they always do, but we need it to be a toxic atmosphere for City on Sunday. And then, you've got Salah coming back, you'll have Núñez back, you'll have Szoboszlai, a week of training under his belt, McAllister, Endo, a week of training under their belts without playing, so they'll be fresh. Just got to go for it. You beat City. Arsenal got a tough game next weekend as well. So just got to keep pushing. It's game by game. After City, it's the 10-game running. And I think that's where us as fans will really start to feel the classic nerves that we've all been through before. But
if we're top of the league, Mike, and I've said a lot to you this season about this, we are top of the league after Manchester City, right, which we will, I think we probably will regardless.
Regardless, now we would be.
Yeah.
Unless,
let me change this then. Let me change this.
Arsenal win next.
If we beat Manchester City next week and we're still without certain key players, just get those red ribbons out. That's all I'm saying. Just get them out. Get it prepared. Liverpool City Council, whatever you need to do to put these preparations for this parade into place, get them done, right? Because there is no way, I'm telling you right now, if we beat Man City on the back of this, maybe this is what it's all been building up to. Winning all these games with these kids. Maybe Man City is the game that they've just been gearing up for, because they know this game, and this is a bold statement, this could define the Jurgen Klopp era at Liverpool. And I'm not saying if we don't win the Premier League, Jurgen Klopp's era is tarnished. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is if he leaves the club with the Premier League this season, despite all the crap PGMOL decisions, all the apologies they've made to us, all the injuries we've had, then, wow, what a team. It will be one of the greatest Premier League wins of all time. But of course, Mike, like you said, and I am trying to just be steady here, Jurgen Klopp did say yesterday in his press conference that he only looks at all the competitions when he's asked about them. But for him and the players, it is one game at a time. Like you said, I'm expecting the likes of McConnell, Bobby Clark, whatever to go again. And then the first team, like I say, hopefully Mo Salah will be back. Dom Szoboszlai and Endo fit to start the game with Darwin Núñez. We beat them, and then we take it from there. But Mike, have you got any closing thoughts on how Liverpool are going to win this league before we go, mate? If you can't be excited, what is the point in supporting this club?
No, I respect it. Listen, I respect it. And I'm sure a lot of people in the comment section and those watching share the same thoughts as you. I think I'll always approach it pragmatically, in the sense that
I think you're worried about people clipping you. I think that's what it is.
No, you know what? It's not.
Get me those engagements.
See, that's the right way of thinking about it. No, for me, I'm more just cautious. I think I remember specifically when I got scarred during the quad charge season, and I've not been the same since. I really have not been the same in terms of how I view Liverpool since. All title races for that matter. If we manage to get 3 points against City on Sunday, I'm still waiting for Arsenal to drop points. As much as people just go, I know, listen, Liverpool and Arsenal share one thing in common, and that's that we both think the other team isn't in the title race. It's quite funny
Tell you what we don't share in common, European Cups.
Listen, there you go. But, Arsenal fans don't believe Liverpool are in it. Liverpool fans don't believe Arsenal are in it. I think it's a game of chicken at the moment with them. I know we're ahead of them by a fair amount of points at the moment. I know they've got a game in hand where they can close the gap. I'm waiting for Arsenal to hello? Yeah, there you go. That's the thing. I'm waiting for Arsenal to drop points at the moment. I'm seeing where they will drop them. They've got a couple of games coming up. I think it's at the very back end of the season where Arsenal, for me, would blink, and that's where they've got Spurs, they've got Everton. I think they've got Villa. Those are the games I look at and I go, They also have City, so they've got quite a tough run in Arsenal. With City, we just expect them to win every game, bar the ones when they play us. If we get to try and remember our schedule. If we get to through to the semi-finals of the Europa League and we still have won all our Premier League games up to that point, I'll be uncontrollable with how obnoxious I'll be because I'll believe it's in. I'll believe it's there. But at this point, I'm still chilling because the injuries we've had, just the injuries on that alone, you just got to take it game by game. Klopp said it best. This country, as wonderful as it is for football, it's not set up to win the 4 trophies. It is not set up for a club to win the quad. It is nigh impossible to do so in terms of fixture congestion. So we'll see how we get on. I can already see it now. If we did do it, the City fans would call it a dirty quad and it wouldn't count because it was Europa League, not the Champions League. So that would be funny. But we'll see how it goes. Next game is Europa League. Make sure you guys tune in for that because we'll 100% be doing something for that. And then, of course, we'll have the build-up for the City game. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow Ben for all your updates. And you know the rest.
Check out yourfootcard.com as well. Link in the description. And guys, we'll probably be here Friday because obviously Europa League will finish around 10 p.m. We'll probably just do it Friday evening. Round up everything, all the Liverpool news, the Liverpool result against Sparta Prague, and take it from there. So smash the like button. Make sure you got your notifications on Twitter, and we'll see you next time.